is a youth mentoring organisation led by those with lived experience in the justice system, aiming to reduce youth recidivism by offering diversion programs that provide pathways to employment and education. Do it one more time. Give a rousing welcome to founder and CEO Joe Kwon to the front.
So right now in Australia, there are thousands of children locked up behind bars, some who are as young as 10 years old. 80% of these children will return back to custody within the first 12 months of their release. And it's costing our community $714,000. Let me say that again, $714,000 to house a single child behind bars each year. You might be wondering why I'm telling you all this. Well, not that long ago, I was sitting in a maximum security prison serving a 13-year sentence for directing a criminal enterprise. But the story is so common. Just like so many of the young people that are currently incarcerated today, I also came from a marginalized community. I came from a broken household. I ended up joining a gang at a young age because that was the only place where I felt accepted. Crime only became a byfactor of wanting to belong to a community. And I dropped out of school in year 10 with little education as well. So when I was in jail, the common denominator for why most people were incarcerated was not just some sort of childhood trauma or some disadvantage, but it was the lack of education. And guess what? I used to be a part of that statistic. I ended up becoming cellmates with this guy, and he was a billionaire accountant who'd come to prison for Australia's largest tax fraud. And I got to spend some time with him in the cell, and not only did he teach me accounting every day, but he taught me about business. He taught me about the value of education. But most importantly, he taught me about self-worth. How ironic is it that I had to actually go to prison to find a positive mentor, my first positive mentor. He actually got me to do my HSC when I was inside as well. He motivated me to do my HSC. And one day I was sitting in my cell, and this prison officer walks by and hands me this letter. And he goes, "Joe, I don't know how you did it, but you bloody did it, mate." And when I opened up this letter, it said, "Congratulations, you've been accepted into the University of New South Wales." I spent so much time in prison dealing with a lot of crap, and I never shed a tear because I always accepted the consequences of my actions. But I still remember in that cell sitting there holding onto the letter and bawling my eyes out, because no one will understand the feeling of freedom that I was feeling in that moment. It was a mentor who not only gave me hope, but it was a mentor who set me free. Today, instead of directing a criminal enterprise, surprisingly enough, I'm directing a social enterprise because they're so bloody similar. And I'm also directing a not-for-profit where we have a whole team of mentors with lived prison experience who are helping young people to feel that same sense of self-worth and that freedom, just like my mentor gave me. Our mission is to reduce the rates of youth recidivism in Australia by providing pathways to employment and education and that ongoing support once these young people transition back into the community. We also have a partnership with the University of New South Wales where we offer full scholarships and campus accommodation to a lot of our young people who want to pursue a pathway of academia. And just recently, I'm proud to say that we've launched Confit Gym, which is a social enterprise where we redirect our profits from our gym membership sales back into our youth mentoring programs. And it's also a physical location where we can have a pipeline of young people from in custody out into the community so we can provide that ongoing support for them. And it's a sustainable model. Our biggest problem that we've faced when we're running our mentoring programs in regional New South Wales, we do run mentoring programs in regional New South Wales in youth justice centres. The biggest problem that we face was the lack of engagement once these young people come out into the community because we don't have a team there. Our team is currently all based in Sydney. So our solution to this issue was to create digital hubs in these regional towns where we can provide fitness and mentoring programs live and online from our gym in Parramatta to these towns, to these regional towns. And some of you guys might be thinking, are we any good at running mentoring programs online? Anyone from Atlassian here? Well, during the heights of the COVID lockdown, we had to really pivot our business model online, running fitness programs online and everything. And given our background and our experience of training in our prison cells, overnight, we became the experts in confined space bodyweight training. And companies such as Google and Atlassian were contracting us to run programs and workshops for their employees to help them to be free. You know? Who'd ever thought that there'd ever be a time in history where being incarcerated will ever become a skill? But we've piloted this model in Mount Isa, which is far west Queensland, and we're having really, really high engagement with the young people. And tonight, you know, I'm here to ask you guys for $40,000. That is the cost to run this project over a 12-month period. With $500, we'll be able to support a facilitator to be able to facilitate the young people to come and run these online programs. With $10,000, we'll be able to purchase the hardware required, such as the monitors, the projector screens, and the cameras. And with $30,000, we'll be able to deliver 12 months of programs in 2 regional towns. You know, who would have ever thought that an uneducated kid who nearly spent a decade in prison will be standing in front of you guys today advocating for social change? You know, imagine through our program how many young people we can create to become social change makers and adding value to our society rather than taking away from it. You know, I'm here tonight to get your support for Confit Pathways because we want to create a future where no child ever has to see the inside of a prison cell ever again. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Incredible. Thank you so much.